Well, good morning, happy Monday, and welcome to the SHAC. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK, and as always on a Monday at 10 o'clock, I'm here to keep you company, to give you the heads up on what's going on during the week, and just open the door so that you can come in and meet some of your friends and have a little chat and get on the right path for a good week. So I hope that you're in the building. I'm just waiting. Our dear friend Paul Church is in the room with you as well. So if you have any questions, of course, then ask away. And yeah, we've got loads going on at the moment. We're so busy. And so let's just let some friends find us. I'm not seeing anything in the chat at the moment, but then that's because I didn't click the right button. Good morning. And have you got a cup of tea? Have you got a coffee? Are you ready to go? We're working our way, working our way through the wonderful letter W. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Jill. Good morning, everybody. And so this morning, I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned that I would bring a piece of artwork in off my wall in my hallway. It's upstairs, so no one can see it except me and Dave. And it's to do with a washing line. So I thought I would show you it because it's one of, like every now and again you make a piece of artwork, and I'm sure you know what I mean now, and you're really chuffed with it. Well, this is one of those pieces for me. I was really chuffed with it. So I'll tell you how I did it. I'll share the process with you because it's actually quite easy. And then I thought we could use it as our inspiration or our idea for drawing a wall washing line today on our little pictures that we're drawing. I really like that we're drawing these little 3.5 by 3.5 inch sections and building up this whole street, really. Come on in. It just, it is no pressure, is it? Like this morning, I did the washing line and then I thought, cool, blimey, they are huge, the things on the line compared to the hut, the wonky cottage. I thought, now the perspective was all wrong. And the best part was I was just able to lift out that piece and put in a fresh piece. Easy. Come on in. So while we're waiting for our friends to arrive, yeah, what are we doing at the moment? Well, it's all systems go here because, of course, we're getting ready for the open days. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, don't delay. And I've been this weekend. I've been getting ready for the workshop because we've got workshops on the Sunday as well. Linda Williams is doing one with Groovy, and I'm doing one as well. So of course I need to prepare for that because I've got lots of guests arriving. And I had a really good think about it because I thought I'd really, rather than, usually what we do, you see, is we have it's almost like a dabble day and we do 4 different things, 4 different tables. There's a bit of a run around and it's fun and it's informative. But I thought this time I started down that road and then about an hour in, I thought what I was preparing would be brilliant for the whole day. So then, of course, the consideration is, say you've got 40 people or 50 people in the room, right? That means instead of 10 jelly plates, we need everybody to have a jelly plate. Instead of 10 alcohol ink selections, we need everybody to have alcohol ink, So it means it just multiplies the product that you use exponentially. So it means that everybody has to have the same thing. So I had a little chat with Paul and I said, I really, really, really would like to do this so that we're all working, getting to grips with the same thing at the same time, I said, I think I'd really prefer that this year. for that one-day workshop. And so we crunched the numbers, and I said, it's doable, you know. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, it's going to be really good. And it's kind of getting to grips with, you know, one particular mixed media, like a jelly plate with alcohol ink, and then dealing with it at lots of different levels. So I think it's going to be really good. I think we've got a handful of seats still left, and then I said there is a cut-off point because otherwise it gets too much. So if you do fancy joining me on the Sunday, if you are coming to the workshop, if you're coming to the open days and you're coming on the Saturday, maybe you want to tie one on. No, I don't think that means what I mean. Maybe you want to add on another day. That's what I meant. And of course, if you're a parcher, then when do you get the opportunity to spend a day in the company of wonderful Linda Williams and Louise this year? Louise will be helping her. So let's take a look. You see the open days, Friday the 30th of May. That gets you in the building, gets you the drink, gets you the cookie, and also gets you the all-day raffle ticket. Right, and then Saturday, I think you'll be impressed. I do think that this is a big gig. It's a big gig for us. So that's the 31st of May. Then this is the workshop for Linda, right? So that's on the Sunday. So she takes you into another smaller room and spends a day it's like a real intimate setting with Linda. And then I grab the big hall and we go for it. And like I say, this time we're getting alcohol inky arty with Barbara Gray. So if you want to get into that with a jelly plate, I've got loads of ideas, and I think it will be good. So I've been really busy planning that. When I say alcohol ink, I'm talking about this stuff. Just for those of you who are not into stamping and inking, alcohol ink is a solvent-based ink. It's a quick drying. These are just a pair. We've got loads of different ones on the website, but these are in fact, ironically, these are the two that I've been playing with. So I really like alcohol ink, and I've got a couple of tricks that I want to share with you. So that's what I was doing at the weekend. That, and then raku. So happy to report that we had a fantastic raku session yesterday, Dave and I. Really went well. And then there's a big kiln node ready to be opened this evening. So we shall see how that works. Thing about raku is it's so unpredictable, you know. But we were absolutely cream crackered by the time we finished last night. Really. And this morning, you jump around a lot with raku, you know. And this morning, I can really feel it in my joints and in my shoulders and my neck. And I tell you what, I mean, we're doing a washing line in our little SHAC doodle session today. Yesterday, anywhere in our neighbourhood would not have been a laundry day. If they were, nobody hangs their laundry out on a Sunday anyway around our place. But the smoke and the smell, you stink. Let me tell you, when you've done raku, you smell of smoke and burning straw, and it's great. I love it. But yeah, it was great. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And all the birds, without exception, you know, it's quite something to have. We did 5 loads. 5. You can't do too many because then you lose control, as we found out the last time. But we fired the kiln up 5 times. So that way we were able to use smaller, you know, smaller pots and smaller bins. Everything was smaller yesterday, far more relaxed. We actually were able to sit and drink tea and eat strawberries. I know, there was none of that the time before. So it was really enjoyable, and I'm really grateful to Dave for helping me, you know. It's not a one-man job, Raku. Not a one-man job. You need some poor person to lift the lids when you put them in with you. Yeah, it's comical, really. Anyhow, that's what we did yesterday afternoon. So, shall we do some, did I warn the neighbours? Yes, I did. Now, let's have a look. We're going to do some, which neighbours would you like to know? Right. Let's have a look. This is what we're doing at the moment. So we did our shack, we did our tree, and we did our way marker. So we've got our wonky tree, our white picket fence, our weather vane. We did loads, didn't we? So then I thought, right, we'll go for the washing line. And that's how we ended up. So what I did was, without asking the neighbours, I moved, wait for it, I moved the boundary line, okay? In fact, I changed the house a bit as well. And I put a washing line in there. So we've extended the fencing, right? If only you could, eh? And I've added a little washing line in there. So let's just take a little look up close. It's just a thought. And check it out. I've got a little robin up there. Do you remember last Monday we did the robins and the wrens? There. Do you remember? That was fun. Okay. So I thought we'd add, so you see, because originally I considered putting the washing line to the back of the house. And of course, with our modular system that we've got, you can. If you want to tuck the washing line, then just rub that little bit out there, add that to the one over here, easy, or move that down a little bit, you know. Great, isn't it? The orange and purple one, Deborah, over my shoulder, that's alcohol ink. That's alcohol ink too, on UPO paper. I don't think we'll be doing that one at the workshop though, because it requires, oh well, hang on a minute. Yeah, I could do a little sampler. I was going to focus more on jelly plate, on the gel plate. But listen, when we get started, there's no stopping us. And I like the idea of concentrating on one thing. Yeah. That requires hair dryers, and there's a lot of electric involved. So when you're working with 50 people, that might be something that we could do on an online course, if you fancy that. You know, that's the only thing about that particular technique, is that you need to, you can blow, but you need to dry, blow, dry, blow, dry. And that way you need a heat gun or a hairdryer is better. Okay. Yeah. Anywho, let's have a look. So I put my washing line in there, and then I thought that looked really nice, you know. So we're getting there. We're running to the end now. I also put a little wheelbarrow in. Look, I'm going for it now because we're inking up on Thursday. So we're going to have to stop at some point. So I've got a little watering can. I've got a wheelbarrow. I've got a weather vane, a wren or a robin. Core. Do you remember we used to put the washing up with a big wooden fork? I used to always do that when we lived at Ludwell's. Yeah. So there you go. So many different choices and possibilities. But today I thought we'd concentrate on the washing line because it's real fun. How's that sound? Yeah. And then why don't you draw? I've got a suggestion, just an idea. Why don't you take just one of these, okay, and don't overlap it, and then you can decide whether you want to put it in between the tree and the house or here. And we can always build it into the picture afterwards, can't we? Okay, but why don't we just go with one like that? You just got to keep your eye on the house and the tree so that it doesn't look like a jolly green giant lives in the little shack. Okay, like I did. Look, I'll show you. It's like, no, this isn't going to work. I got a bit focused on, look at the size. If that's if those are the trousers, then I don't want to knock on that door. Right, let me show you my piece of artwork from my wall, because that's where we're, put that over there for a minute. This is what I'm talking about. And I did this, let me show you now. If I come in here, perhaps you can see it. Yeah, there you are. So this is, it doesn't make a difference when it's nice and nicely framed. Okay, so this is a 7x7. This is a stencil. This is an old gel plate print, like really old. And it's grungy and it's messy and it's using a bit of punchinella in the background. And then this is using this stencil. See, if you saw this on the website, you think, what's supposed to do with that? Which is probably why I want to show you it, because it is absolutely brilliant. Okay, brilliant. And it comes with these bits as well. So not only do you get this bit, let me just pop that on there, that bit, you also get the clothes. Look, I know, so cool. And the picket fence. So that is really useful for a gel plate. I'm just saying, these bits are the bits that give you fantastic results on a jelly plate, these innie bits. So let's have a look now at this stencil, and you'll see if I pop that on there like that, look, you can see there's the line of clothes and the birds. I didn't muck about. Look, so I masked that off, and then I dragged texture paste through there. Well, and then I did that one there. So, I mean, if you wanted to, you could do it all in one sweep. Keep it simple. I just wanted it to go up a bit more there, you see. So I'm pretty certain in order to do that and then that, I would have to do one and then the other. Because otherwise, as soon as you move it, you're going to stick this back in there, aren't you? So I would have done that bit first. I know what I would have done. I would have done that bit. I would have let that dry, and then I would have done that bit. Okay. So that's the stencil. And so here's the thing, right? What did I drag through it? I'll show you up close in a minute. What I dragged through it was this stuff. Relief papier paste. It's quite a liquid. It's quite it's not as thick as some of them. Let me see if that's going to work. Right, this one. And the reason that I'm pointing out that this was the one I used was because what you do is this. You drag it through and then you wait 20 minutes to half an hour. You'll know. So what happens is it gets like a skin. See, some of these are so dry to start with, like heavy duty paste. They don't really get a skin. They just dry like polyfiller, right? This, it creates almost like a membrane, like a rubbery kind of membrane so it dries from the outside and then the inside dries afterwards. It's quite smooth, unless you want it to be. So you wait. This is how you do this. You wait, drag it through, wait 20 minutes. If you miss a bit, fine. Don't even think about it, right? Just drag it through. Wash your stencil so that you get this off. Then you've got this on this print, right? And once it's got a skin, it's stretchy, it moves a bit, yeah? And this is where you can actually start to have some fun. So let me show you. Let me come in. Let me see if we can see this up close. If I come in a bit closer on this one. So you can see here the detail on the clothes. Now, this is behind glass, but if I were to run my finger over this, it's actually textured. It's not just drawn, it's textured. So what happens is, when you've got that skin on this paste, what you can do is you can stretch it. You can, because it's on a bit of card, you move the card out, stretch it a bit more. When you bring it back, it makes a fold like that. See? So you bring it in, you stretch it, so you start to manipulate, and when the paste comes back, it doesn't go back to where it was. It makes folds. So that's how you start to get. It's so cool to do, right? So you stretch it out and you do that, and that's how you get these look like the creases. Then the next thing to do, in order to get this texture, you can take, I won't say, what's the best thing to use? Like the side of the flat of a knife. Let's say, I was going to say a credit card, but you don't want to use a credit card, right? The flat of a knife, right? And or your pokey tool, your one needle bold tool. You could clean it off, it's easy. But then you could start to make patterns and creases and real intricate stuff. So now, for example, you get your pokey tool and you can start to put lines in or dots, or like here underneath, I really made the bottom baggy in the long johns, you see, and you can make tiny little marks in the socks. See, I love that sort of attention to detail. So now you're making marks, and then when you see in the fence as well, you can see it very well in the fence that I've used the side of a flat of a knife to make these marks. See, so everywhere where you make a mark like that, okay, everywhere where you make a mark like that, when it dries, it's set. It's set in that mark, right? And then the way that you still can't see it very well because it's almost white, isn't it? It's light cream. But once it's dry, then let me show you. You take your stencil again and you cover up the rest of the picture, okay, so that you reveal the bits that you stretch. They'll go back into there. And then you take your brush and your dry brushing. Usually on your black brush, you've got archival black, haven't you? You've already got a bit on there from when you've used it with masks, for example. And then you dust. And you can dust with black or maybe cobalt blue, right? And just lightly, because you can always add it, but you can't take it away. See? So then you dust really gently through there, and the brush picks up all the cracks and all the... Let's see if we can see it on this camera. If I hold it up like that. There. It picks up all the cracks and all the little marks and the edges. Do you see? So you can really have some fun with that. There. You can see where I've stretched it, and then when it's gone back again, it's gone, it just moves it. It gives you a mark so that you can actually add faux texture. Although, like I say, and this is, I didn't cut it, I didn't trim it, I didn't do anything, I just left it just as it is, just as it came. I loved it. You know, sometimes you don't have to do more than that. So that, my friends, is how I got to that. And I was thinking, apart from the fact that this is really nice to do, I'm sure I did a blog with this years and years and years ago. It must be 10 years ago. I'll dig it out and I'll bring it back to the front I'll see if I can find it, and then I'll just bring it back to the front and I'll reblog it today. Okay, I'll do that when I get home tonight, so that you've got a step-by-step. Back in the day when I used to do step-by-step projects every day. Right, okay, so that's that. That can go back on my lovely wall up the stairs. Actually, but I want to use it to draw, get some ideas. This is what I'm using for my ideas for the washing line. So have you got, let's do a bit of doodling. Come on, friends. Have you got a 3.5 by 3.5? Remember what we always say, you don't need anything but a piece of paper and a pencil to join in here. Ding dong. So we've got a little bit of paper. And then I do like to be beside the seaside. I do like to put some perspective on it. So I'm going to put my tree in there. See, if I don't do that, I'm bound to go too large. You know what I mean? That'll do. And I really, really, really could do with, stay there a second, I'm sure we've got one somewhere. There it is. I'm back in here on Wednesday doing that live, the third one of the online courses. That's been so well received. The foundation course for stamping and mask landscaping. It's been very well received. It makes my heart sing to see how much people have enjoyed it. So on Thursday at 1 o'clock, it's the live session again from here. And tomorrow, of course, Paul and Louise will be keeping you company. Louise is doing the SHAC at 10 o'clock. And then they've got something great to show you at 2 o'clock. And we've got something brilliant to show you at 2 o'clock today. We've already released it on the website, and you've been buying ahead, which we very much appreciate. But they're so cool. They're so cool, these new gold, black and white rub-on transfers. It's not something we've ever done before, but my, oh my, they take your work to the next level, I have to say. Anyway, so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Right, so I'm just going to stick that one in there. I need to trim it. It's a little bit bigger than the other two. That'll be all right. Right, so I'm just doing this so that it's in place while I work. Right, so I'm just using a bit of masking tape so that I can, well, you wouldn't think this was this hard, would you? It's all right, it's been a long 5 years. Let's do one at a time, Gray. Right, 1, 2, sorted. Okie dokie. Right, so that's that. And then we're going to put the washing line in. Yeah? So before we do that, we need a pencil. And I definitely think we want to add a fence. So let's come down a little bit, up a bit, and then we'll just decide we want it to be, how big do you want it to be? Do you want it to go up a bit there? I might make it go up a bit there like that. See what happens. Why not? My right, my rules. You do what you like. It's your drawing. You're the artist, remember? So I think I'll go up a bit, see if I can get a bit of perspective on it like that. Okay, so that's going to be my fence. See, like that. And then behind that, and this is, so the way to get perspective, I worked it out all by myself. See, if you do the large one, it's too far down. Look how huge it is. Okay, so compare. All I did was push it back and make it smaller. I didn't put it right down on the country road, because you wouldn't, would you? Let's be real. Would you put your washing line right by the front fence? No. All you smalls. Hands up who never puts their knickers on their line. Come on, be honest. I draw the line at knickers on the line. I won't put my knickers on the line. No. They go on the Arga. And I tell you what, I would definitely never, ever, ever, ever do is put them in the front garden. Would you? No. So there you go. So we could put knickers on the line on our drawing if you like, some really old big bloomers like mine. What were they in the film? Bridget Jones's Sensible Knickers. I've got a drawer full of them. TMI, Grace would say, TMI. Okay, right, come on. Let's get started. And so what we'll do is we'll put the line up a bit and we'll make the posts. Let's make the posts. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make the picket fence first. So picket fence first. Right, let's just do these, just 2 lines. Do you remember how we did it before? We can make it quite woo-wah. Look, leave a little gap in between. As it comes more down the front, if you want it to be bigger here, then just make the posts taller and a little bit wider. Look, see, like that. These are great big now. There you go. Excellent. So this is right up the front, and then we're going to move it down the back a bit. There you go. So that's that done. Cool, if it were only that easy, eh? And then, right now we'll put the little Chinaman hats on the top to make them into the white picket fence. There we are. Easy job. Okay, so once we've done this, then we can add the weeds and the struts. Dave would give me the technical term, I'm pretty sure, but these bits that hold it together, otherwise it would just all fall over, wouldn't it? That's it. So we'll pop them in there as well, and then we'll get on with the laundry. There we are. Do you know, we take so much for granted, really, don't we? I mean, you haven't got to go down the river, have you, and start smacking your clothes against a boulder. I tell you what, David would be wearing the same clothes all month. If I had to traipse down to the River Eden or the River Medway and start whacking the shirts and the smalls against rocks to clean up, not that the water in the River Eden, it'd be better. Nah, filthy. Thames Estuary, what do you think? No. I often wondered that when I saw people washing their clothes in the Nile when we were in Egypt. I thought, I don't know how clean that water is, eh? But hey ho, needs must. So there we are, moaning about the fact that we've got to just dump it into a washing machine, throw in a cup of lovely smelly stuff, and an hour later out it comes, you know. And then we moan because we've got to put it on the line. Have you got a tumble dryer? I've got a tumble dryer. I don't use it very much though, because it's very expensive to run. And also, I've got an Arga, and that, my friends, is the perfect, because it does the ironing for you as well. If you use it intelligently and you smooth the stuff out, I've got a rack. I never don't use it for cooking. We use it for doing the ironing, and also for drying the raku. At the moment, it's covered in little blue birds. Cooking? Are you kidding? That's not what the Arga's for. That's for laundry and raku. Pottery. Yeah. So, but if you use the Arga correctly, intelligently, it will iron your t-shirts. It will iron your jeans. Only thing it doesn't iron is Dave's shirts. I have had a talk with it, but it won't comply. Yeah. Now, let's have a look. So, back to the picket fence. And what I'm saying is, we live in luxury, really. I mean, you know, compared to, I don't know why. Oh, look, that one. This weekend, my nerves have been jangling. And so I've been watching like films that drive Dave out of the room. You know those ones? Robin Hood. It was a good one, though, with Russell Crowe. Very good. Kate Blanchett, she lives in Crowborough. She lives in our town. Russell Crowe and Kate Blanchett. That was a good one. Not for Dave. Dave can't cope with that stuff. But my point is the poverty levels back in those days. Yeah. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. When was that? Like sort of 1500s, something like that? Yeah. You know, if we think that the government are on, you know, on the take now, you should watch Robin Hood. And then you will know that nothing has changed. It is exactly the same now as it was 500 years ago. Nothing's changed. The rich are rich and the poor are poor. And then we get caught somewhere in the middle, funding both. Yes, that's how it works. Yeah, so and then yesterday evening, that was another one I watched. And that one was really good. Alan Rickman, and it was all about Versailles. Now, what's that other really good actress, the blonde? Not Kate Blanchett, she was in Robin Hood. Oh, I love her. What's her name? Come on. It was to do with Versailles. She was the gardener. I'm sure you know. Anyway, but again, Versailles, Louis the whatever. And if you saw the pomp and the excesses and the rich, you know, versus the poverty, then you realize that we, in this moment in time, are actually not a lot of, there's a lot of people that would not agree with me here, right, or are not in a good space, right? But we, the people sitting in this room right now, we are so fortunate, so lucky, yeah. So yeah, so I've been watching these period dramas, absolutely amazing. Kate Winslet, thank you, Paul. Kate Winslet, perfect. I love her. So, you know, if you see a film and it's got Alan Rickman and Kate Winslet, you think it's got to be good. And it was. And then I see the one with, you know, the Russell Crowe. And I think, yeah, I can imagine him in tights. He didn't wear tights, though. But it was a good film. If you're looking for a good film and you haven't seen it, look for Russell Crowe as Robin Hood and Kate Winslet and Alan Rickman in a film about Versailles. A gardener. She was a gardener. Very good, anyway. And it kind of gives you, it gave me a little bit of a reality check about how lucky we are, you know, at this point in our lives. We live like kings, really, comparatively speaking. We live like kings. And I live in a house, Dave and I, live in a house that was built in the 1600s. So, and they were built to last in those days, I can tell you, you know. And so if walls could talk, it would be interesting to hear the stories about the generations and generations and generations for 450, 500 years of people that have lived in our house. Oh, I bet that could tell stories. I bet that could tell some stories, eh? Yeah. Anyway, so my point is that you really do. Let's get on with this washing line, or the sun will go in. What's the weather like where you are at the moment? The weather here was a little bit overcast, but I think it will brighten up later. And I'm working all day, so whatever. There we are. It gets so hot in here, doesn't it, Paul? Bit of an endurance test. I should be as thin as a rake, really, but I'm not. 4 pounds on, 4 pounds off. 4 pounds on, 4 pounds off. That is the story of my life. But there you are. 4 pounds on, 4 pounds off. That looks good. That's me fence sorted. A little bit of grass and weeds. We'll do that afterwards. Let's get the washing line in. So the washing line, I suggest that we start it shy, so it's not behind the fence. Let's put it ½ inch up, right? Let's put it here. Start it up there. You can always extend it, right? Because it's going to, then it looks like it's part of the story. So in fact, let's move it over a little bit so we've got a bit of room for the watering can as well that we're going to add. See? So we'll put the fence in, the post, make it 1 inch, not more, just 1 inch. That'll do, like that. And why don't we, just because we can, let's put another one. Oh, let's stay on here. We can always extend it afterwards. Yeah? And then I thought it would be quite nice, instead of just making it sag, which is not what you do, is it? Well, that's what I was taught to do. You've got a big thing that you push in the middle and it takes it right up to the sky so everyone can see your laundry. Well, it's windy, fresh. Agreed? A Little Chaos. Thank you. That was the name of the film with Kate Winslet, A Little Chaos. It's really good. It's old, 2014. How is it? I can remember when it was made, but I can't remember her name or the name of the film. It's not good, is it? Am I moonlighting as a weather girl? No, I need to lose a bit of weight before I do that. Don't they always look like they're going out on the tiles? What is the unspoken rule? When they go, do you have to look like a sex kitten? Do you have to look like you're going out to a nightclub after you've done the weather reports? Hands up, who doesn't even listen to her, is always checking out what she's wearing. And it doesn't matter what channel, it's like the unspoken rule. Weather readers have to be absolutely sexy, don't they? What's that about? It's distracting. It's distracting. A prop up. That's good. A prop up. I like that. Or is it called a prop up north? Or is it called a prop up? It's called a prop up north, isn't it? It's called a prop up down south. I've lost it here. I heard about where do you put your knickers, but I popped to the loo, so I couldn't answer. Inside the whirligig, so they can't be seen. Oh, modesty. I know, Jackie. I still use a clothes prop. Prop, not a prop up. Thank you. Right, come on. Get the prop in then. Put the prop in, because that will change the angle of the line. Yes? Right, prop. And we'll put the prop, right, okay, we'll put the prop off center there, and we'll go up a bit like that, so it's at the back, and we'll lean it over. So let's make it, let's do this. Right, that's the line, and then the prop is going to go like that, and like that. See? Got it? Excellent. The weathermen always look quite smart too. They all look too short for me. But yeah, they've all got suits on. Mind you, so do newsreaders. Yeah. Punctuation is so important. It really is, Ken. Right. Okay. So let's do the prop. The prop up. Mine is a line prop. with a wooden peg on a chain. No, a chain dot it was my mother's. Right. The last prop I had was a great big branch, a wooden branch, and it had a V in the top, and it was absolutely amazing. I don't know where we lost it, but it's not there anymore now. It must have been... Right, that's the line. It goes round the back of that and over the top of that. I know, this is... Can you believe it's taken us 45 minutes to get this far? Sorry. Okay, so now, so that this doesn't look ridiculous, let's put a little bit of grounding underneath it. Let's just at least get that bit right. Okay, so now that's it. It's anchored. And then this is anchored as well. All right. And then we'll put a bit of green... Come on, you can never get the lawnmower around the posts, can you? This wouldn't have weeds around it unless you've left the washing out for a week. Okay, dokie. Right, that's that done. Now comes the laundry. Okay, so here's the next question. You see, I've done this way round because it looks more interesting, okay, to have a dress the right way round. But my German mum taught me, like when you put a shirt, you don't hang the shirt up by here, you hang the shirt up by the bottom. So the sleeves are down the bottom, and you hang the shirt up by the bottom. You hang the shirt up by the bottom. You hang trousers up by the bottom, so that the pockets and the waist are down hanging. You hang them up by the leg. Yeah. My German mum taught me that, but on this occasion, I'm going English. I'm turning it round. All right? Good. So what we'll do now is we'll add the dress. So dress first. Right, let's do a little dress. And we'll do the pegs at the end. So the little dress, see now if this was a German Hausfrau, right, I'm just saying, make it tiny, because otherwise it would look ridiculous. And then we'll just... bit of dress. It's windy. It's windy. The wind's blowing, so you can see. There you go. So we do a dress like that, and then you can do the pegs like that. Isn't that lovely? There you go. See, it looks better than on a German line. It'd be the other way around, and you'd be pegging this bit. My mum taught me to hang clothes upside down too. Did she, Jane? There you go. Yeah, because maybe it's not a German thing then. Maybe it's just what it is. Right, but for this occasion, because it looks better, let's have a look. We'll put a, what about a little shirt, a little t-shirt? Should we do the t-shirt upside down then? Come on then. Right, t-shirt upside down. So that's like that. And there's your sleeves. And it's blowing in the wind. There you go. T-shirt. Looks a little bit not quite as... I think we need to give it a little bit more wind. There you go. That's it. Nice. Windy. So you've got a little bit of... So you can get some creases going. There you are. Right, we'll do that afterwards. Then I think, well, let's put a couple of socks in. Should we put the socks in here? Tiny little socks. There you go. Socks. Heel. That'll do. I mean, that was another thing. Right, German. Okay. So Marion says, some hang the washing from the top and others from the bottom. I tell you what my mum used to teach me as well. See where these are all individually like this? Because we never had enough pegs, I would have had to use that peg on there so they were all together. Come on, who did that then? So this t-shirt here would be on there, and they'd be using the same peg for that bit and that bit. See, that's another thing that I was taught. Right, long johns now, but we'll draw them so that the legs are... There you go. The legs are blowing in the wind like that, and then they're hanging up like that. Okay, long johns, pegs, nice. What else can we hang up? What about a towel? Keep it simple. A towel would be easy, right? So we'll just do a towel. And we can make the towel fly in front of the, there you go. Now we're getting scientific. There you go, bit of depth. Okay, so now the towel's flying like that. That look good. Yeah. And I think, I don't know, that'll do. I think that's fine. What do you think? What about a bird on the washing line? Well, I'm sure I did one somewhere. Where did I put the bird? Yay, looky, looky. There he is on the post. Right, come on then. Bird on the post. Right, so I think we'll make the post a bit more three-dimensional. There you are then. That'll do. Right, and then the bird, tiny, otherwise it will look like an albatross. So remember when we did the birds, which is going to be Robin bold, yes. Robin. So let's see if we can do this in miniature, right? Tiny. So we'll do a little smile like that. Oh, look. And then we'll come round the top like that. Yeah, definitely looks like a robin. Cheeky, beak, tiny. There you go. There's me robin. Realistically, that's about the right size, isn't it? Nice. So now we've done that, I'm going to sharpen my pencil and I'm going to put some weeds along here. A bit of weeds. Now, where did I put that sharpener? How are you anyway? Are you enjoying this? I am. I know, we're mad, aren't we? But that's the thing with women and men, right? People, we all have different ways of doing things, you know. And at the end of the day, is there a right way or a wrong way? No, it's just the way we do things, isn't it? And I can remember, you know, I can remember my mum is quite strict, but in the, you know, German, it was just the way that I was taught how to do housework, how to peel potatoes, how to do the ironing. You know, she was very she did me a lot of favors. I mean, at the time, I wondered what it was all about. You know, you had to, there was a certain way of ironing a shirt, and the mum went to finishing school in Switzerland, so she was taught how to do these things, and then she passed them on to me, and I have to be grateful to her for teaching me those things. You know, I taught Grace several things, but not as strictly as my mum taught me. For certainly not, you know, just a generational difference. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm glad that my mum did. I wasn't at the time, you know. I had quite a strict upbringing, really. But listen, I'm glad I know how to cook. I'm glad I know how to iron. I'm glad I think a lot of kids, young ladies, young women nowadays, they don't know. They don't know. They weren't taught, you know. Seems to be like, I don't, my mum, you learn from your mum, I suppose. My mum always used fresh vegetables, fresh, always cooked from fresh, still does. She's 88. She still peels the potatoes and makes the stews, and never, the processed aisle is like, never go down the processed food aisle. You know, the ready meals and that. She wouldn't know how to order it. She wouldn't know what to do with them. And I suppose that's why I am the way I am, because I don't use processed food. And, you know, I can see its merits, and I understand that, but I feel like a cheat. I've been brought up, programmed to think I must use fresh veg. And I'm glad I do now, because, you know, the processed stuff now, a decade later, 2 decades, 20, 30 years later, after we're all now finding out why that stuff on that shelf lasts 6 months. You know, what's in it that's not good for us? So, you know, I'm definitely, it's not excessive, but I definitely do fresh. And it's a direct result of being brought up by my mum, you know. And I see her today, she's 88, and it's all about that, you know. And she is like her mother, very much like my German Oma, who was also even a more extreme version of that, you know. She really was. She went out in the allotment and dug it out of the ground. That was the strawberries that we had. You know, at least Mum goes to Tesco's and buys them. At least, you know, they don't come out the garden. Whereas my German grandmother, they had allotments. The potatoes came out of the. There wasn't anything that wasn't used. The potatoes, the runner beans, the strawberries, the cherry, everything came out of the allotment. And so, you know, my mum, next gen, she goes to the fresh produce section in the supermarket and gets it there, you see. But I follow my mum down that aisle. Yeah. And I'm grateful for that, really, that she taught me how to do those things. Yeah. And I'm quite enjoying this, you know, everybody has their own way of doing it, don't they? So now, for example, we can add a little bit of shadow on our, you know, on our, get it sketchy, do you remember? And don't forget, hang on, he's got a bit of a neckline, a bit of sketch, a little bit of shadow in there, because that's underneath, that's the head. There you go. I love it anyway. My mum, if she saw that, she would say, they are round the wrong way and you use too many pegs. I'm 66, Mum. My washing will dry too. What's more important is that the sun do shine. Right. So, trip down memory lane. We've done our washing line. Seeing if I'm tempted to put a little extension and bring it over here, so I'm happy with it. But I already have done that, you see. I've already done that. Look, I know. I love this modular trick. And then, look, as if by magic, oh, look, I even made a watering can. I tell you what was a challenge. Do you want some homework? Try drawing a wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow under the tree is your homework. Give it a go. Now, what else have I got to tell you? This afternoon at 2 o'clock, I hope that you can join Paul and myself. Really, really, mwah, right? These rub-on transfers, beautiful. Jane Telford's been working hard. She showed me some samples that because she's going to be demonstrating the transfers and how they work and what to do with them. I mean, they are easy to use, but it's what you do with them. Yeah. So, so she's going to be showcasing those for us at the open days, which I'm excited about. And Paul said today, because when you buy the packs, there is a little lollipop stick in there. And he said, it's much better with a hockey stick. And I agree, it's much better with a hockey stick. So if you've got the hockey stick Pergamano tool, ideal for this job. It's just got, just perfect. Yeah, so that's this afternoon. Tomorrow is Louise and Paul, 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Wednesday is myself and loads of you at 1 o'clock doing part 3 of the online course. Thursday, we are inking. So what you need on Thursday is your micron pens, okay? And then we'll start to draw it, which would be nice. And then on Friday, last but not least this week, Deborah Wheeler's in the building with us, which will be brilliant. So I'm glad to hear that she's back in the building on Friday, and she's got some butterfly dies that she wants to showcase, which are very, very good. And also, yeah, stamps, of course. She's a brilliant stamper. So she'll be here to keep you company at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock as well. And other than that, I think I've remembered everything. Don't forget, this afternoon, 2 o'clock, or shop ahead. We've got plenty in stock because we don't make them, but I also won't reorder them because they're a very expensive investment. But they were well worth this, and it's all about sentiments. They just look so cool. So enjoy that. I hope you've enjoyed this hour. I certainly have, and I'll see you this afternoon. Have a great